Is this the beginning of the end of MAGA? I mean, one of the attorneys who prosecuted Epstein was just fired. It's funny, or not. Epstein exposed a lot of people. This whole thing is bigger than just one predator. It actually revealed how the elite operate in the US. It shows us a system where the ultra rich buy immunity from consequences, while the rest of us carry the weight of their mistakes. This case gives us clarity on how concentrated wealth creates a parallel justice system. It definitely undermines our institutions, all while they drive the wealth gap wider and make themselves feel better with charitable donations. Before I worked at Tesla, I worked in luxury hospitality. I worked for brands you may know, Fairmont, Ritz-Carlton, the Waldorf Astoria. The thing is, I was in VIP services and concierge. I got to see firsthand how these people choose to spend their money, the ridiculous requests that would come to me, the morally bankrupt requests people would make, the illegal tasks that they would attempt to have me take care of. If you're imagining something off the wall, then you probably guessed right. Several of them told me I was very good at what I did, but they would never hire me as their assistant. It's because I have a moral compass. Hi, I'm Kina. I worked in luxury hospitality for 10 years with VIP access all of those years. You can look me up on LinkedIn, but I don't respond to messages there. If you'd like to support what I do, please give this video a like and share it with somebody. The way Epstein operated shows how the ultra wealthy behave. When he bought Little St. James Island, it was the beginning of a private jurisdiction where normal rules didn't apply. The island served to hide the behavior of the elites. The way that Epstein was able to move shows how wealth is a power in itself. His jet became a vehicle for transporting the powerful. It created almost a closed ecosystem where the wealthy could misbehave without judgment. The names on the manifest are a who's who. I linked the article that provides those names. His network demonstrates how extreme wealth creates what amounts to a shadow government. It's a parallel system where the ultra rich do their business, make decisions, and build their alliances, all without oversight. Epstein's compound was where finance, politics, media, and technology connected beyond the reach of accountability. His case shows how concentrated wealth enables private infrastructure to be set up, ones that serves elite interests, all while bypassing democratic institutions. The ultra wealthy have created a system where they can operate by different rules than everyone else in society. While Epstein and his friends enjoyed luxury and impunity, they hoarded money. The resources they wasted on their criminality spotlights why they don't need gobs of money. They don't know what to do with it. They have proven that it makes them evil. Think about the scale of the money spent on maintaining Epstein's enterprise. Millions to buy an island, a private jet, and its operating costs. Don't forget the staff, legal fees, all to create and cover up criminality. It goes beyond what he spent. Every dollar spent protecting the wealthy from the consequences is a dollar not invested in the public. Could it have paid off everyone's student debt, literally freeing a whole generation so they could potentially buy a home? That's if housing costs weren't so absurd. Hell, it could end homelessness in the US. That's just a fraction of what the ultra wealthy spend on luxury items and tax avoidance. The US could address its deficit through redirecting even a fraction of the resources concentrated in elite hands. Epstein maintained private airstrips and helicopter pads, but our public transportation systems crumble. Epstein was a philanthropist. It shows how the ultra wealthy use charity to launder their reputations. His donations seemed like selfless gestures. They were actually strategic investments that provided legitimacy and influence. His donations to elite universities like MIT and Harvard gave him academic credibility. He funded high-profile researchers like Stephen Hawking. They helped him appear intellectually legitimate. These things also gave him access to more social circles. These donations show how philanthropic giving serves elite interests as opposed to public need. Epstein's contributions went to already well-funded institutions that serve primarily the affluent, whereas that money could have been used to address social needs. His support of scientific research appeared noble. Realize it's designed to gain favor with influentials. It helped create a network of prestigious associations, protecting his reputation. Elite philanthropy follows the same model. Wealthy donors direct their giving towards institutions that enhance their social standing. Places like universities, museums, and cultural centers, they decide which needs get met. These elites receive huge tax deductions for their charitable giving, with taxpayers subsidizing their philanthropy. When a billionaire donates $100 million to a university and receives a $37 million tax deduction, the public pays the cost of the lost revenue. This system allows the ultra rich to appear generous while maintaining their wealth and power. They receive acclaim for addressing problems that they often create or make worse. Meanwhile, actual solutions go underfunded, all because they don't provide the reputation benefits to the wealthy donors. A wealth tax would generate more resources than voluntary philanthropy. Progressive taxation would redirect hundreds of billions annually. It would pull money from luxury consumption, illicit behaviors, wealth hoarding. It would redistribute it to address the US's needs. Maybe you don't agree with the wealth tax because you dream of one day becoming a part of the elite. You won't. You won't because they are hoarding all the money. When they spend money, it's not on your coaching program, your app, or your AI agent. It's time to redistribute the money. This could fund universal health care, invest in infrastructure, provide true education to Americans while barely impacting the living standards of the ultra wealthy, while maybe helping them ease up on the debauchery. These ideas aren't new. They've been done before and are currently being done. Look at Denmark and Sweden. They maintain high living standards and social mobility through progressive taxation and strong public services. Our ultra wealthy won't leave if they are taxed. That's because the only place they could go is to hell. We also need a reform on capital gains. It's taxed at lower rates than our wages. Our system prioritizes wealth hoarding above work. We need to tax wealth, not work. Raising tax rates on capital gains would generate significant revenue while reducing inequality. This is where the ultra wealthy get most of their money. They don't have jobs. Why are working people carrying their burden? Also, inheritance taxes need reform. Estate taxes allow billions to pass between generations without taxation, creating the biggest assholes you could ever meet. Like I said, I worked in luxury hospitality, and trust fund kids were the worst people. They want for nothing, but they want everything that you have, all because they never had to work and don't have self esteem. They know the money they have is due to nothing they did. They hate everyone they encounter because they hate themselves the most. It all sounds like incentive for a trip on the Lolita Express. Instead of funding these aimless lives, strengthen the inheritance tax. That allows them to experience meritocracy. All while the taxes creates resources, funds for education, healthcare, and infrastructure that benefits all citizens. Same as corporate taxes. A reform would force profitable corporations to pay for infrastructure and services that they actually use. They'd likely end up using fewer services in an effort to pay less taxes. They'd probably pay better wages to staff, the staff who are likely using food stamps. I'm talking to you, Walmart. The Epstein scandal exposes how extreme inequality creates parallel systems of injustice. There are so many powerful people involved that will likely never know all that happened. There are people who are more concerned about a transgender person using a public restroom than a billionaire with a child on their lap. Clearly, they're confused about who the real danger is. If you're not sure, it's the person who can pay to make their problems go away. With all that extra money, it's easy to buy innocence. The solutions to this exist, and other societies have tested them. Progressive wealth taxes, capital gains reform, inheritance tax strengthening, corporate tax reform, anti-tax avoidance measures. They all work. These would generate hundreds of billions in revenue. They could fund universal health care, education, and infrastructure. Oh, but it's not going to work. Shut up. It used to work, and it will again. The ultra rich will resist any attempt to reduce their privileges. They have influence over media, politicians, and institutions to maintain the status quo. They will argue that wealth taxes aren't practical, that the wealthy will leave, that innovation will stagnate. The thing is, they're wrong. The Epstein case shows us what happens when we don't take action. When wealth concentration reaches extreme levels, it doesn't just create inequality, it creates criminality, corruption. These people operate in a different legal universe than the rest of us. with the consequences reaching far beyond their immediate victims. The way forward is realizing that extreme wealth is incompatible with democracy. We have a choice between allowing continued concentration of wealth or systematic change. This scandal revealed how the wealthy truly operate. Now we have to decide whether we allow the system to continue or make the necessary changes. The choice is ours. The longer we wait, the more entrenched their power becomes. Epstein is a symptom of a system that has allowed wealth to concentrate. Until we address the root cause of it, we will continue to see the emergence of new Epsteins operating with impunity while imposing costs to society.
If working hard made you successful, single mothers would be billionaires, first generation immigrant families would be multimillionaires. But the billionaires pull the wool over your eyes and tell you that if you work hard, you can be successful like them, because if you don't work hard, they won't be successful. And there's no stitch coming. I just put this here because you've been duped by this. You can be duped by them.
It looks like YouTube wants you to watch this. You can subscribe here for my other channel. I'll see you on Monday. Okay.